Hello, we're back.
Like a nasty itch.
Yeah, we're back like a nasty itch only a DJ could scratch.
Ooh.
And we want to have a conversation with you guys, with our listeners.
I'd like to keep you informed.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys may have noticed, and I mean, we did this before where we talked about where we know what we want this show to be, but we don't know where to go with it. And there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors about this show, what we wanted it to be, where we wanted to go, what we started it as.
We didn't want to steer people in the wrong direction, give them negative impressions of AI, because that was one thing that we both wanted to strive for, is actually have something positive for it.
Yeah, and I think we did that. I think we tried our best, and I think we're still doing it. And if you guys are thinking we're going to let go of AI completely, that's not going to happen, because that's always going to be a forefront of this show, artificial intelligence. It interests us. But there is a couple things about us that you guys should know. Like we've talked about before, we're not experts in this field. We're not scientists. We're not affiliated with any of these people. We are nothing more than enthusiasts, and we can only know so much as enthusiasts can learn.
Don't confuse that with influencers. Enthusiasts.
Yeah, and there are influencers out there. There's MetVid Pro. MetVid Pro is probably my favorite AI influencer out there right now, who is showing like the positivities of what artificial intelligence can do. All this fun stuff like the music apps and the image apps, they're all fun. Yeah. They're all fun, and that was the whole point of this show, to have fun with it. But we want to make it more fun, and we kind of want to be a little more of ourselves, right? We talked about going like a comedic route, which is probably still going to happen. It's something that we really would like, because we think we're funny. We think
we're funny by nature, but I don't know what it is if we come onto the podcast and we kind of clean it up, because I know I'm not the soundest, cleanest mind in the world, but when I come on here, I don't know what it is. I just most of the time put on best behavior, but I'll slip every now and then. The side that I want to come out does. So yeah,
and I do want to talk about this too, like our interaction. And this is not a brag, and this is not a complaint either. It's neither of the two. I mean, this show does really good. We are heard around the world. But when it comes to our interaction, it's very minuscule. And with that, we kind of, and this is in no way to blame the people who are listening, because we're only blaming, to be honest, I only blame myself, for not, it moves so fast, AI.
Right. And so we're just trying to keep up with a subject matter that's already changed.
Yeah. I mean, if let's say me and Strobridge had a conversation this morning about the new technology come out. By the time this recording is done, it's a whole different conversation.
Yep.
And oh man, it's kind of hard to keep up. It's kind of hard to keep up.
It's hard to keep up, and then there are days or weeks where it's kind of dry in a sense. We'll be looking online for stuff, and there will be news, but it's already been news we've talked about, or a program or an app. So they just added a new key feature, so like we're keeping up to date, but at the same time not much has changed.
No, we're not. Yeah, so I mean, it's I do get confused sometimes. I do get overwhelmed. That is a big truth. But I wish I knew what people would want. That's I think for me, I mean, we're podcasters, and this is your first podcast.
Yep.
And coming into podcasting, you want to entertain people. That's I brought, you have a great mind. You have a great artificial mind, and it's good to dive into that stuff. And I that's all I wanted to do. But now we're coming to a point where,
well, it was fun for us to do. That was the intent to begin with, was to have fun and then have other people have fun with us. And recently, I just looked at our actual page, and we've had 3,000 views now total. So I mean, it's people are watching that. That's just not bot numbers, you know. So it's like there is an interest, and I know a lot of the time we've put out there that we would love to hear back from you, and a few people have, but just not the numbers you would want. So we would know what you're looking into for your subject matter from us.
Yeah. And maybe this is just like, because like this podcast hasn't even hit 100, and I think that's good, you know, because there is life in this show. There's a lot of life in this show, but what kind of life does it want to have? You know,
if this is an artificial mind, what are we asking of the mind itself that we're kind of exchanging with Tam here?
Absolutely. And
yeah,
it's not going to stop us from using these AI programs. We'll still present these AI programs to you as they come, but we want to be a little more of ourselves. Some of you know, maybe some of you don't. We live in the United States, in states that have recreational cannabis laws. And we're
vets. Let's put that out there too.
Yeah, we are military vets as well. The both. We, I mean, for those of you guys who don't know, me and Strawbridge were actually in boot camp together. We slept not even 4 feet away from each other.
I did his tarot readings for him.
He did actually, and what's being more yourself brings out a better show. And one thing that we are going to do, we are going to have more conversations that are being routed towards the cannabis route, but more, you know, so Clean Sanchez Media as a whole, we are very
diverse, really.
Yeah, we're very cannabis friendly.
Oh yeah,
and with different types of shows, and I don't want to hide that from here. I don't want, not that I'm hiding.
What, you go back in the 80s and 70s and you watch like the Johnny Carson shows, and you're sitting there having a scotch and brandy in a glass and smoking a cigar. You know, it's a couple more years, it's going to be a norm. It really has in a lot of ways already. Like, a lot of people still complain about the smell. I get that, but otherwise they wouldn't give a crap.
Yeah. So we are going to start incorporating more. See, I think so. Picture this. You're in a room with 5 of your buddies. You're laughing, smoking up the first couple minutes, and then you get into those deep conversations about life, about the future, technology, the past, and things like that. And that's kind of the direction that I see this show going, or that I would like it to go.
Brain stewing, if you will, with what the heck is that called? We used to do it in school all the time, where you draw one subject, put a circle around it, and you get all these little circles around it with other mini subjects. And
oh yeah, it's kind of like a reverse iceberg. Yeah, so that's where we're gonna go with this. It's I think it's more appropriate for us to go this way with the theme that Clean Sanchez Media is going, and actually has been. And I think it will help this show too. You know, my one of my main goals is to bring more cannabis content to the masses. You know, that's it. And I think having a show like this, where you can have those deep conversations with your friends, those smoke sessions, and just have a good time. You know, we have fun here. You know, I love laughing like everybody else, but I also love having those conversations as well. And I think it will also be easier for us to be able to get guests, you know, have our friends in here, you know, have those conversations.
We do kind of hide from it a little bit, but I mean, if you're a person that's listened to our podcast quite a bit, you've probably heard us talk. You've probably like, oh, that's an interesting idea you had there. And I'm sure you've kind of put 2 and 2 together on some occasions that we might do that stuff. So we're just kind of pointing out that you were correct in thinking so.
Yeah. And again, this isn't, you know, oh, we're changing this, you know, because something. No, we're changing this because we want to be more of ourselves. We want to. When we come into this show, we want to know what we're talking about. We want to know we want to know the things that are happening in a sense where we understand it. You
Yeah,
know,
we don't
I'm
want to
not.
talk for the sake of talking.
Yeah, I don't know what my IQ is. I don't know if it's high. I don't know if it's low. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know everything about this certain subject when I really don't. No, even
Right.
no matter how much I read about it, because you can read a lot, you know. But it's about
I think what it
understanding the
is
source material.
you're in the loop a little more than most people, even for me. Like, you fill in a lot of stuff for me. So that's kind of what I hope we do for other people, is like, if you don't know anything about it, we're going to give you a little bit, just enough to where you're going to be interested. They'll go out and look at it yourselves and do it
Yeah,
yourselves, basically. Like, oh, they're talking about this. I never heard of this. So we give you just a snail of what we know about it. We've done a little research for you. Now you got to piggyback and finish the job yourself if you're
yeah,
into it. Yep.
yeah. And again, we're not driving away from artificial intelligence, because those artificial intelligence conversations will still come up. We're still going to use art from
Mm-hmm.
Mid Journey or Meta and stuff like that. That's always been the basis of the show. That won't change. The only thing that's going to change are the conversations. The conversations are going to be more natural. They're going to be more fun. They're going to be more thought provoking.
Put a
You know,
filter in my brain.
don't even do that.
No, I'm not going to. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to put a
And I
filter.
think that with this, to not confuse anybody, we may even treat this as like it's a new era, right? This show has always been a one season show, but maybe we can treat season 2 as a new era, a new showing of this podcast.
Well, it's almost like artificial intelligence right now is kind of not in the back seat, but it's a little quieter in the news, and that's usually what happens before the next big thing comes. Is things kind of quiet down a little bit, and then they'll build back up, and then we'll get our next iPhone, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
maybe
which
that's
is
another
which is
reason too.
happening.
It's just
Yeah,
it's the wave, the current, if you will.
yeah, it's not easy, and I think we knew this too.
Oh yeah,
I think when we started this, we knew like this isn't going to be the
Midjourney
easiest.
helped us out a lot.
Midjourney was very helpful
It was
in the
awesome.
beginning. We
Yeah,
got very far with Midjourney. If it wasn't for Midjourney, I think these ideas would have never sparked.
right. I never would have learned about half those artists that we were doing, like Lisa Frank. Like, I knew her art. Like, I knew back in the '80s when everybody had a Trapper Keeper. I just didn't know who the artist was. I thought it was just I didn't even know it was an artist. I thought it was just a design put in a printer and then produced for kids in school. But that's cool that there was an actual artist, Lisa Frank, and then the guy that did all the old fantasy art stuff, Frank Frazetta. I think
Yep.
his last name. Yeah.
Yep. Frank Frazetta. That
Yeah.
was actually an episode you chose.
Yeah. I love that episode. Yeah.
My favorite episode is the Lost Tapes of the 27.
Yes, that was a good one too. That was like
That
number
one,
2 or 3 for us, I
yeah.
think.
That episode alone has been very helpful. And again, artificial intelligence is still going to be a big thing in this show. It's not going away.
Right.
We're just making a couple changes with it. Yeah, I just think it'll be easier for us. It'll be easier for us. And it's
A
not about
little far
and it's not a
reaching for stuff.
and let me kind of rephrase too. It's not about it being easy. It's about being natural.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all about being natural in the conversation. And I don't feel like
We can
oh
rush into
man.
topics too, because we'll be like that. It's been a couple weeks, John. We need to probably find a subject. And then when things are kind of light there in the news, that's when, yeah, we do kind of have to find something and ramble on about it.
Yeah, but again, guys, this is not a goodbye.
Nope.
We're gonna take probably like maybe 3 weeks, or maybe a month. Maybe we take a month off.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on other stuff too.
Exactly. That's the other thing too, is we're working on other things now too.
Yeah, we have Breakfast and Headbangs coming
Yep.
out. That's your baby right there. So
And
that's your baby.
yep.
And then we're working on DMZ, which I actually have your first part of the script for too.
News
I
reporter?
actually have it. I will send it to you. It's actually it's like a small page and a half that you have to read.
Mm-hmm.
But no, there's that too. We're all working on other things. There's a lot of stuff happening in our spaces as well. A lot of fun stuff. I don't even know where to kind of like go next.
You're
You
starting to
know,
bloom though, because this is what you do. This is your bread and butter too, and it's your passion. So it's really taken off in just a fucking year, man.
yeah. And I
Started
only
with
bring
what, one or
people,
two, three
and
podcasts?
I only bring people that I have a true utmost respect for, and people
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like deserve it
Mm-hmm.
and are good at this.
Well,
You know,
thank you.
everyone that I work with can talk. Everyone that I work with brings something different to Clean Sanchez Media.
Yep.
You know, you're spreading out now. You got breakfast and headbangs, you know? And even then, like that's something that myself and Gio are going to be helping you with
Mm-hmm.
so that you have the proper music
Yep.
being played,
Right.
you know?
And I
This is
just those guys that I went to the concert with last month too. They're filling me in on all this metal stuff constantly now. So I got this pipe of music coming to me now. So and that's a good comparison to this show. It's like I'm getting a lot of feedback already for this metal show that I don't feel like I will dry up of content right away. Not that we did with artificial intelligence right off the bat. We had a good, I would say, 50 shows going before we started to feel like a little slower on things. We covered
yeah.
quite a bit.
And even in between them, there were some episodes too that were like kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like I look back, I'm gonna look at some of our greatest hits here, if you will.
I love how
All
you
right.
made that out really way. Nice job.
Yeah, so
Yeah, what are we up to now? 70? We should look.
episodes,
Yeah, how many episodes we
we're
got
up
here?
to 58.
58.
Yeah, so what we have here. So our most popular episode, the Loab Woman.
And that still baffles me how that one is like the biggest one, but again, I don't know that much about the Moab woman other than what you told me and we did of that podcast. So,
Yeah, and it's funny because the one comment we had here, why does this only have 7 subs?
yeah.
You know, so people, you know, they got it. They
Hmm.
understood what was going on with us. People knew. And again, you know, we haven't received a lot of feedback
No.
and feedback regarding what to do next. So, you know, we're gonna test this out and we're gonna see what happens next. We're gonna see what happens with this new era. You know, we're gonna have fun with it. It's just gonna be, you know, the artificial mind is still going to be tapping in, just into different things now. That's it.
It's kind of like being away for 3 months in summer away from school. And then when you go back to school, you got all this stuff to report. That's kind of what we want to do is we want to absorb the stuff we can. And then when we do a podcast, it'll feel richer, right?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm going for? A little richer, funnier. Everything about
Yeah.
it will be better.
Yeah, and I could think of such great episodes. Like I could think of Kobalis Designs coming in, and we could have a deep smoke conversation about art and painting because you guys are painters. You guys paint. Maybe we could have an episode where, yeah, there's just so many ideas to go. Well, maybe have you, me, and Laura on, and talk to them about how they immerse themselves into such big stories. The opportunities are endless.
Exactly. Another thing I hope too by doing this podcast is encourage other people to start doing their podcasts if they have an interest that they'd really like to
I
push
agree.
out there. I mean, look where we started. I wasn't even
Yeah,
doing podcasts. You were messing around with them, doing a couple, and then now you've got like a good
7.
surplus. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got your
with
industry, man.
and with the new audio series coming out too. Like,
Yep.
you know, we're doing different things, we're tapping into different things, we're having fun. But guys, again, This is not goodbye.
Never.
This is see you later. We'll be back in September.
Just
and we're gonna have a lot. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about too. Okay, that's it.
I promise.
Yeah, we're gonna be back. We're just gonna take a little hiatus to figure out the direction of this place. If you guys have any suggestions, write to us. The Artificial Mind Podcast at gmail.com.
I'm not sure if they can reach us through Facebook and that kind of thing, but I mean, my name's on here, so if you find me, you can message me and throw me a message on there too.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, X,
Twitch.
What else am I on? Twitch. You can find me anywhere, even on Spotify. If you're listening or watching this on Spotify, you could leave a comment on our episode, and we'll be able to look through those comments and stuff like that. So, I mean, just let us know. Talk to us. We want to talk to you. If you like the direction of the show, let us know. If you don't, let us know.
Yeah, it's not only way out there listening. I know there's some of you listening, and if you like something about it, let me know.
Yeah, there are a lot of you that listen.
Yeah.
If you guys are enjoying
sometimes, but there you are.
I just want to know. My thing is like, how do we do better? But I think our new road that we're going to take may help. But that's all, guys. Thank you so much for the last 59 episodes of our foundation of what we wanted this to be.
Yep.
Thank you for coming to every single episode on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and Rumble. Seriously, thank you. This is fun. I love this, and I can't wait to do more. You have a final message for them?
I want to say thank you to all the people that gave me the inspiration to do this stuff. Like, it's not just me that did this, because if it was, I probably would have gave up after 2 or 3 ideas of a show. But we got feedback right away, so that was good. I just wish to keep doing that and to have you join us while we're doing that. Grow with us, will you?
Absolutely. And guys, for merch, go to cleansanchezmedia.com. In the future, you are also going to be able to sign up for a subscription service where if you want to sit down for some of the episodes before they air, you can do that. Check out the merch. Logo's not changing. Intro's not changing. Nothing needs to change. It's just our format, guys. We want to be more natural with you guys. We don't want to hold back anything. We just want to have some fun. So have fun with us. Have fun with us. Have a good day, everybody, and thank you.